Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. We are open, ready to go for round one of the SRDL 2025 series. This is part two, round one of part two, which is the Pro-Am series. We're using the SRDL Pro-Am car pack, and we're about to get rolling, rocking, ready to go. Commentary tonight, myself, Grizz Kids, and Pushy.
What's going on, everybody?
On the production, we have Slay J as always, and we're gonna get jumping right into our track map. Up on the screen, you can see now a quick little decel into that first outer zone rather, and then drivers are going to be on the throttle into inner clip number one. A little bit of a decel whenever you cross the track going into outer zone number two. Another little inside clip into a big sweeping right-handed outer zone. A little bit of a transitional decel into outer zone 4 on the throttle the rest of the way out the track through outer zone 5, 6, and 7. And drivers are going to finish it out there.
Perfect. So, we have two drivers that are going to battle head-to-head tonight. The battle will consist of 2 runs, a lead run and a chase run from both drivers. Judges will determine a winner based off line, angle, and style. The lead will run the ideal line, so what we did last night. Make the run followable for the chase. So no decelling in non-decel zones and staying online. And follow the momentum map. That follows up with that as well. And the chase will maintain close proximity. Match or better the lead run. And don't hit the lead. This is going to be a big one for this track because there are 3 decel points. There is a lot of chance to hit the lead drivers. So chase drivers, be cautious.
Couple of decels, couple of transitions, but we're ready to get this thing right off the bat. And we're kicking it off the top tonight. And actually, I'm going to do y'all a favor real quick. I'm going to post the bracket in the live stream. And I'll do a little pin there so y'all can see it the rest of the night as we continue through the rounds. But up first, we're going to have Omar Bdatley from Carbon Drift Team against Rick James from Team Shadowrealm. So Omar Bdatley, also check in for round 2 because drivers are going to be allowed to submit custom skins. Unfortunately, with certain issues that we had this time, we weren't able to get the custom skins on for this round, but we do have some custom skins from the good old Slay J running production tonight. He's also our livery designer, as you know. So I think we're ready to go. Pushy, can you run the light and get us going? Pushy is in control of the light tonight.
I am the official SRDL start light today.
Tofu is on a trip, so he is doing that thing. We got Omar in the lead, Rick James in the chase. Omar really grabbing these zones, and Rick James really on the door of Omar here as we go into the inner clip, the first one. Omar pulling away from Rick James as they get into the first right-handed sweeper and moving along, grabbing that wall, each inch of every wall as he goes around the course. Someone's been practicing quite a bit. A little bit of a wall tap, but you almost didn't even notice it, Pushy. Did you see that?
Very, very slight wall tap there at the end. And I will say...
It didn't even upset anything. That was crazy.
A great run coming out from Omar here. Definitely going to have the advantage, I think, going into this second half of the battle. But we will see as we have both drivers at the line. And me thinking Tofu's here, and I have to click the button. The drivers are off. Rick James in the lead. Omar in the chase. It's a little slip initiation coming out from Rick James here. Kind of shallow on that first zone as they come into this wall section. Hitting this inner clip perfectly. Omar kind of struggling to keep up with Rick, but that could be the line that Rick is taking here is making it hard to follow. Rick James slowing up as they get into this 3 outer zone wall section. Omar doing a great job staying on the door, though. Absolutely phenomenal run coming out of Omar here.
Yeah, I think where we sit right now, I think this one's going to Omar. I think Rick had a lot of corrections in his lead. Caused a little bit of a gap at some times in his chase. And overall, I don't know. I think if it goes any direction, it's going to head toward that 240SX driven by Omar Bdatley.
And as we go back here, we're going to watch these runs again back to back. And you will see that Rick James just struggling in that lead and Omar doing his best in that chase. You hate to see it, one of the SR boys, but sometimes the nerves gets to you. And I think we will see an all Omar. But
we're going to see which way they slide.
Be choosing.
And it's going to be Omar Bdatley moving on to round 2, the top 16. But up next we have Murda from Shadowrealm in the lead against Stylex from Bad Future. And we are off to the races. 2 350Zs. Here we go. Murda in the gray one. Stylex in the blue and green one. The 1UZ turbos screaming. Murda with good angle and good flow through that little area there, but Stylex pressing the door as they move through this area. And into the sweeping left-hand turn just before the second sweeping right-hand turn. Murda is locked in, and as is Stylex. I mean, that is the best chase you can put down. given a lead like that. There's no complaints on my end if I'm being 100% honest. I think that was a fantastic run.
The second
but you can't have
battle
that
of
good
the
of a
night.
chase without that good of a lead.
That is true.
That was a great lead. That was better than his qualifying run.
That is true. And it's just what we saw here, and this is the second run of the night. Or the second battle, I should say. So I think we're going to see a lot of OMTs maybe tonight. Could this be possible? Could it be one of those types of nights?
I have no idea.
But both drivers off
a little bit of a tap.
Little tap as they come into this outer zone, hitting this inner clip section. But Murda staying on the door as Stylex comes through the zone. Could be a little bit deeper, but still great coverage as they make it into these three outer zones. Murda not far behind though. Definitely not giving him much breathing room as they come into this last outer section. Murda tapping the door.
We're looking at
wow.
We're so deep into OMT territory.
Wow.
It's scary. Holy. Woo.
If we go back to back, that first, that might be the decider. That first section might be the decider. But I'm not 100% sure. I might have seen a little bit better coverage from Murda in the...
I don't know.
It's hard to say, but...
Oh, this is going to be rough. Yeah, Calvin Tola in the chat. Might be a long night. I think you're right. Okay, so I have to address the chat while the judges are deliberating, because I feel like this is going to take a second, and I have some time. Oh, man. Okay, so there's a lot of old faces that have been around a long time that have remained in contact for me that I feel like I need to address in chat. Spectre and Rhizo, the good old damn days. If you notice on some of these cars, the DHP logo is very clear. Slay, I know the replays are up, but can you give me just a second and let me find one of the DHP logos on one of these cars. We are still, yep, here we go, we found one. We are still alive and well, gentlemen. We are still alive and well, gentlemen, and thank you all for coming out. Rhizo, I was so happy to see you qualified and came out, and you made it into the show. And it's cool to see what we're all doing these days. But we do have a judge call, and we're gonna see which way they slide. We got one going Murda, one OMT, and two going Murda.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I could see that happening. Watching them back to back, I think this came down lead to lead. I think
the side by side is a big telltale. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. He just didn't make it into that first zone, which kind of messed up the rest of his line going through that first section, and didn't fill the second major wall as well. I think those are the 2 points of contention on that run.
It is wild, yeah, and I mean, that call took a little bit. Obviously, replays were pulled. Drivers were informed in the meeting. I'm just informing the viewers at this point, but we're going to go ahead and move on along. We got Michael V, AOM Blastoise against Lux. That's who's battling. That's who's going.
Yeah, it's going to take me a minute to get used to being like, oh, I'm the guy that has to push the button.
Oh, you're good, man. No worries, no worries. We got Blastoise in the lead in that G35. Lux in the chase in the E36. And we're grabbing every part of every zone so far in that lead position, but Lux is not letting him get very far away. Well, he did a little bit there, but he locks in, massages the angle into the door of Michael V. Michael V transitions, and Lux is on the door in the pocket as they move through the left-handed sweeper, the final zone, and that bump is always a pressure cooker, but not for that run. Great composure by both drivers.
That was a good run, good complete run from both drivers. I don't really have a takeaway. I think really we're gonna have to watch the second half, and we're just gonna have to see someone make a bigger mistake.
Absolutely. We're going to see which direction this one goes as we kick them off here.
All right, Lux in the lead. Michael V in the chase. Lux going for that little clutch kick initiation. Michael V staying there, not bad. Even maybe a little bit of tap. Oh, a
big
double
contact
tap there. Is that going to be on the chase or lead though? That all depends. There is a decel, but not at that point in the corner. But as they come through this 3 outer zone section, Michael V still on the door. Ooh, bumper to bumper transition as they come onto this last outer wall section and over the line, both drivers.
Pretty impressive. I love that. Techno the Viking in chat. I heard for prep this round, Swirly ate 6 banquet frozen chicken pot pies. Kroger had them on sale for 6 for $4.99.
I think I could attest to that. I seen him. I actually was there. I indulged
you know,
a little bit
$30 for 6 banquet frozen chicken pot pies seems a little steep.
It does, but
you know, I feel like Kroger would have a better deal than that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like there's more to it. But honestly, if that's the fuel that Swirly needs to get through this round, that's all I meant. All 6 were $4.99 on the nose. he actually $4.99. Okay, I'm dying. He actually paid $29.94 in straight cash and change. No exceptions.
Dang.
All right, we have the contact on screen here. Let's see what's going on here. There's no decel in this area, but it looks like the lead driver is on throttle. That lead driver in this position is going to be Lux.
And his left foot brake right as he comes out. He's
brake,
off
that looks
of
like
left
the
foot.
chase driver, if I'm being honest. Not to cut you off, I apologize. It looks like the
Yeah,
chase
could
driver is
be.
the one
It
left
is
foot braking in
possible.
that position. But it doesn't look like it. I don't know. It really looks like we got a lot of tapping going on from the chase driver in this position. But
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the lead is at fault particularly, but then again, the judges have all of the pedal movement stuff, so they would know exactly what happened in that corner. But the rest of the run, both drivers doing a great job.
yeah, I mean, no real crazy stuff going on, but looks like we do have a call from the judges, and we're gonna get a decision right here, right now. Let them know where they go, Pushy.
All right, looks like. Well, I gotta tell them where to go. I don't let
One
the judges
to the
do that
right, one to
themselves.
the right, one to the right.
Another one to the right. Ah, they're all
Yeah,
right.
okay,
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I figured that the fault was going to be on Blastoise. Judges send a little message through. They said Lux was on throttle. They looked at the telemetry, going that away. So that is what's going to happen. Up next, we have TT Aryan against TDR Keefe. Oh, and I gotta say, Pushy, I am kind of pulling for TDR Keefe because he is our one JZX driver.
Ooh, the big body boy.
I love this car so much. Once you learn how to maneuver this thing, oh man. But Drifto haunts in the shadows.
He does. All right, both drivers up on the line.
Was going to send him off right here, right now. We got Aryan in the lead in that 240. TDR Keefe, big body, JZX 100. Good clean initiation. Looks like they grabbed all the zones. Sorry, I'm doing the best I can with this drone here. Clean transition in the outer zone. Oh, a little bit of a wall tap in the lead, causing him to not grab all of that first inner clip, but grabbing most, if not all, of that outer wall as they move along. TDR Keefe keeping a little bit of a distance, but staying a little as safe, reasonably so, given that wall tap that just occurred. He's got to dive in at this point right now, which he definitely does, but too much. Maybe too much. That is not what you want to have happen in the chase position.
That is the question, yeah.
He had the world in his hands, as some would say. Up.
But the question is did the
very
lead
last
driver
zone.
hit the wall first?
And I think that may have occurred, but I'm not too positive.
All right, as both these drivers up, changing positions here. Aryan on the door of that chaser as they come in through this second outer zone. Aryan tapping the door, knowing that he made that mistake, but maybe doesn't know what happened at the end of that last run. But putting on all of the pressure as they come through this outer section and hitting them into the wall. I think that is going to be...
That might be it.
If that last run was a complete... then we are going to be looking.
We could see an OMT here. You never really know what's going to happen.
We could see an OMT, but I think
let's watch this again. Let's watch run 2 again and see what's going on. Let's see this in run 2, bottom right side of your screen. Let's see what TT Aryan does here. Looks like there is contact, and then TDR Keefe goes into the wall.
Ooh.
And it looks like our judges have made a decision.
And the judges will slide 1 left, 2 left, and 3 left. TDR Keefe will be going to the top 16.
Top 16 for TDR Keefe. Going to be against Lux. Now it's time to call up our next group, Pushy.
The next group. I didn't have the challenge.
I got it. Don't worry. I was just letting you know it's time.
I need that list.
You're good, man. No, I'm just keeping you on the itinerary to make sure you don't get lost. I know it's kind of hard these days. Hey, I got to let everybody know. Pushy's a hard-ass worker. He's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. He's mining 2 weeks in a row for the boys and his family. He's a hard-working man. So we gotta help. We gotta help keep him in line. You know what I mean? But
I got it though.
Group 2 got 6 shadows from Team Shadowrealm. Nick Donado, Calvin Tola, Nibbish from Team Shadowrealm, Diaz W86, Ethan Turner from Team Shadowrealm. This must be the Shadowrealm group. Akisora Hannah, and Landon Daert. So if I missed your team name or something like that, we'll get all that sorted out before round 2. We had a quick qualifying round and a back-to-back round 1. So drivers, I meant to say this in drivers meeting, but since we had such a quick turnaround for this round 1, we just got to kind of make things happen as we make them happen. But we'll be a little bit more pretty for round 2 for you guys and make it all nice and good. But make us some cool skins so we can show the people some designs from the community on your cars. That'll be really cool.
It's very nice. We weren't going to at the beginning, but we caved in. And we said, you know what? We
thought it would be really cool. You know, we were like, you know what? It kind of goes against what we were really about anyway, so we need to make it happen. So we're going to make it happen. So basically, if it's included in a skin folder to where you can easily upload it in a content manager and we can just put it in a pack and all the drivers can download it and throw it in, it's going to make it happen. So
please don't put like nudity or stuff on the things.
Oh, no.
Don't do that.
Read the rule book.
Yeah.
Read the rule book. There's rules. There's his rules. But up first, we have 6 shadows against Nick Donado. 6 shadows in that 350Z. He drifts one in real life. Wonder why he chose one for this series. Also the builder of this Pro-Am car pack and our Pro car pack. And also the Pro car pack sneak peek teaser coming out with a huge update with the VDC physics very soon. 6 shadows flicking it in. Nick Donado in that chase position. Shadows 90 degrees going through that zone, but maintaining that momentum. Nick Donado not letting him get anywhere. Almost tire to tire through that zone as they move around through the right-handed sweeper, the first of 2. A little bit of left foot brake to check up the angle to make sure you're going through the left-hand turn properly, but Nick Donado not letting him go anywhere in that 1M. locked on the wall. Both drivers are. Nick Donado sliding onto the door and making it real nice and close and tidy. We all know here, if you've watched the series long enough, and over the past couple of years, if you know Six Shadows, he's a chaser. He is a chaser.
I think Sick was going on because he's like, you're commentating and you're talking shit about me all the time, and I think he was just putting down a run so I couldn't talk shit. He did it.
He was.
But as we come in, Nick in the lead. Oh, what happened there? Uh-oh. And Sick will finish off this run. Nick is off into Shadowrealm land. Look at these absolute cinematic shots here. Yeah, this looks like a guy that didn't make this car back. Well,
he's in the wall. He's done for. Probably be a quick call there due to the little... it almost looked like Nick gripped up going out after the inner clip there, and then...
Maybe a misshift?
Hard to tell. Do not know, but... all three sliding to Six Shadows. Up next, we have Calvin Tola in the lead against Nibbish. We have two of the same chassis, but very same but different. You know, same but different. We'll have a G35 and a 350Z. Got Calvin Tola in that lead position. Nibbish chasing up here. Here we go. Calvin Tola, great coverage of that lead in that lead of the first zone. But Nibbish, nice, safe, but aggressive chase. As we move through here, a little bit of left foot brake. Very common in that area from both drivers. Calvin Tola almost checking up a little bit. Really not committing to that little peaking zone there in the end. Nibbish looking like he's trying to throw it all in there, but I don't know. A little risky at times, I think, in the chase position, but will it pay off in the long run? I don't know. I think it could.
Calvin Tola did make that big correction in that little 3-section wall section. So, depending on what happens next, maybe that's what it comes down to. But as these drivers leave the line, Mr. SR Nibbish, Calvin Tola in the chase, and straight as Nibbish makes that entry. Hopefully a chaseable entry as they come into this outer zone. Nibbish getting all of it into this 3-wall section. Calvin Tola struggling to keep a chase, but already zeroing out at the beginning. But big contact there as well.
Making a little bit of contact there. Calvin Tola not really looking locked all the way in. You know, like maybe like 80% of the way there, but not all the way. Let's see the side by side.
Maybe he's got the jitters. You know,
it happens. You know, this is the first round of the series. These drivers are locked in for the series, but you can't get the nerves out. All right. We have a call coming out from the judges. Judge 1. Gonna slide it to the left. Looks like Nibbish is gonna get a win here and gonna move on to our top 16.
Taking that unanimous.
Up next, Diaz W86 against Ethan Turner. Yeah, Diaz in that Mustang. Oh, I love this car. It's so fun to drive.
Yeah, it's a Mustang. All right, both drivers up to the line.
And we are off clean initiation Ethan gonna have to dive in here, and he does. As they start moving on to the second outer zone. Gonna have to grab a little bit more door as we move along. Match that angle, match that style. Diaz not really getting all of that first outer zone, sweeping outer zone, excuse me. Grabbing the walls a little bit, getting most of those zones here. So we move along through the final outer. Ethan, conservative chase, but consistent.
Consistent, but I think
one of those
Diaz...
that's like, it's like a chess move. What do you do? Is he playing the long game? I don't know. I feel like this is a gamble, and if you know Ethan, he's quite the gambler, and he's quite good at it. So, I don't know.
Well, I think Diaz might have had a few mistakes, I think, there. Maybe Ethan's trying to play off that, but we'll see as they swap positions. Ethan going way out there, missing that inner clip. As they make it into this second outer zone and second inner clip, Ethan doing a great job through this section, though, on that wall. Maybe way better than Diaz, I would say. Oh, but Ethan hitting the wall and zeroing out, and I think locking in his fate for this competition.
I think that'll be a Diaz win, and it looks like we already have a call from the judges.
Yeah, I don't think this was very hard one to call. One lead made it, one lead didn't.
Yep, Diaz is going to take that one all the way home.
Hate to see it, but good job, Diaz. You did it. Not my golden boy.
Well, that'll do it. And now we have Akisora Hannah against Landon Daert. Hannah in the lead. Daert. Landon Daert in the chase.
Top qualifying run, right?
Qualified 12th, which would have been 4th overall because we already had the first 8 locked in.
Yes, that is
clean
correct.
Initiation. Making it clean through here. Landon diving in a little bit, but keeping it safe through this area. Jumping in a little bit more heavy as we get through the first right-handed sweeper. Matching angle. And getting in the pocket just as he should as Hannah dives along. And is running a pretty good lead. A little bit of a correction there in that transition, but overall good. Landon taps her into position and is going to make it happen.
And they're doing a great job in that lead position. Landon not doing a bad job either in the chase, but
given the lead, I think that was a great chase. I mean, I don't think it was a bad lead, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it was a good, aggressive, but yet safe chase there.
But both the drivers are off again, switching positions. Landon, big angle as he comes out into this inner clip, into this outer zone. Hannah kind of struggling to keep up with Landon. But as they come through, Landon on this wall, Hannah not far behind. Oh, tapping him there, causing that 0. I think we're going to see a call on Hannah. But maybe a decel out of a decel zone. We will have to see what the judges see there.
I'm pretty confident this is going to Landon. I mean, that was... He was on throttle, and Hannah dove in an area where the lead driver was already on throttle and they were getting ready to go through the next zone. They didn't decel her. They weren't supposed to. This was a fault on the chase, in my opinion.
Yeah, now we're looking back at it. She dove in a little bit too shallow and caught a little bit too much speed, I think.
But Landon jumping right back in, diving on the door. Love to see it.
A great job, yes.
But we'll see which way the judges go with. Will it be purple or red? And I think it's going to be purple, and it will be Landon Daert moving on to the top 16 against Diaz, W86.
No. We got to get our next 8 in, or do we still have one pair left?
You want to call up our next group? Yeah, I think we're ready for another group.
All right. The next 8 will be a drifting Magic's Max Jagger has SR John Woods, Chillmate, Serene, Swirly, and the last group will be Zenada.
Zenada and Criticos.
Ah, I got it. In Criticos. You guys get in the server and get ready to go. All 8 of you people. We already have a Taz on the line.
We have a Taz on the line. I know Max Jagger is here. Here he comes.
Here we are.
Looks like we got an E36 battle coming to us.
Oh. So the question is, who will be the better of the 36s?
Three, two, one, and here we go. Max Jagger in the lead. Taz in the chase. Max Jagger in that black E36. Taz in the blue one. Taz, a couple of corrections in that chase position, but getting locked in as Max Jagger and Taz move along through that second inner clip. Taz making his way into that pocket, but Max Jagger riding that wall in that lead position. Taz diving in a little bit in a weird way, causing him to hit the wall, lose drift. But Max Jagger, pretty locked in here. As long as he has a clean lead here, he's got a big advantage on Taz.
Yeah, Taz will have to complete this run and have Jagger not complete this run. So he is at a very big disadvantage here. I think Jagger knows this, and he'll just kind of putt along behind him, not going incomplete, but getting the run nonetheless. And both the drivers will be off. Taz will be taking the lead on an uphill battle here. Ooh, Taz, a small amount of angle on entry, but I think just enough to be able to be in initiation before the line. Max Jagger, though, doing a great job of just being conservative, keeping a car length. Oh, and Taz will hit the wall, sealing his fate in this competition tonight. I think this will be an easy call for the judges here.
I think this will be a quick Max. And up next, we'll have John Woods and Chillmate.
The judges agree. Max Jagger will take that run.
John Woods in that lead position, driving a 350Z. Chillmate coming up in that GT86. And here we go. Clean initiation. John Woods commanding lead, but missing that inner clip. Flying through here all the way on the throttle. But man, Chillmate is diving in on the door of John Woods. John Woods doesn't like him that close. Tries to get away a little bit. John Woods into the wall. Ooh. Chillmate saved him there, I think, from spinning out. I think the judges are going to call that a lead 0 ultimately. Did you see any contact before that, Pushy?
I didn't see any contact before there. I think John is a very aggressive driver, and I think he was just going for it, and he just overdid it. A very Donado-like driver.
Happens to the best of us.
But we will see them switch positions and go again. This time, John Woods will have to put the pressure on to stay in this competition. Will he make Chillmate make a mistake as Chillmate makes it through the first outer zone into this second outer zone and inner clip into this big wall section? John Woods not putting on the pressure I think he needs to get Chillmate to make a mistake as Chillmate does a great job of these 3 outer zones. Into this last wall section, John Woods lacking proximity and Chillmate over the line. I think this is going to be a very easy call for the judges.
That's all Chillmate. I think you are correct, Pushy. I think this is going to be a Chillmate W. 1 win for Kinetic on the board.
And yet again, another confirmation from the judges. We're on a roll tonight, Grizz.
Yeah, we are. We're doing pretty good. Look at us go.
I should have said at the beginning of this, but these walls will be taking victims tonight.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Up next, Bad Future Serene against Zen Swirly. Serene in that lead position, Swirly in the chase. Another all E36 battle. Swirly really far behind off initiation.
It might hurt him in the long run.
Big disadvantage off the rip. Serene really taking off here. But Swirly starts to maintain and gain proximity. As we move through the first big right-handed sweeper. Got to dive in to get that proximity up. It was a last-ditch effort, and he needed to do it there. But he's got to lock it in. And I think it may be too little too late overall.
Yeah.
Swirly is in the same position that John Woods was in the last battle. Gonna need Serene to make a mistake.
Gonna need Serene to make a major mistake going into the second battle. As these drivers take off, Swirly changing for the lead. Serene in the chase. Serene doing an already better job keeping proximity on Swirly here. As they come into this inner clip section, onto the wall section, Serene just kind of keeping a car length, not putting on a crazy amount of pressure, just knows that he has to complete this run, I think. But he can't be too conservative. Unless they called an incomplete from Swirly for not being close enough or an inactive, but
I doubt it. I think that's going to be a pretty easy Serene win.
I think that's going to be a pretty easy win. As we watch back here side to side.
Yeah.
I mean, Swirly does get back at the end. Just this right here where he's kind of making bobbles in that chase. But
it really only locks into him at the very end.
Yeah, I think that gap at the beginning is kind of a killer on the chase run for sure.
We'll see what the judges have to say. It looks like we have a call.
Looks like we do have a call.
Judge 1's going to move. 2 and 3 going to go to Serene. So,
Serene
like we suspected, Serene is going to take this one. We're going to move on to Zenada against Criticos.
The last pair of this 8. Do we have a Zenada?
Zenada is in the lead, but they are not here. Hold on. Let's take a peek. Zenada is in the server. They are up right now. Can you send a message?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. Here they come.
Oh, there we go.
And here we go. Zenada in the lead. Criticos in that chase position in the Mustang. Clean initiation. Criticos diving in a little bit aggressively, dropping 1, maybe 2 on the inside clip there. Judges said not to do that in that chase position in the driver's meeting. Gonna be a mistake. But he locks on the door as we go through the sweeper. And into the next sweeper. We go through Zenada locked in. on these walls. Grabbing him as he should. A lot of left foot brake entering into that zone. That's not a D-cell, but there was no contact made. Maybe a deduction, but Criticos made quite a few mistakes.
Yeah, Criticos pretty shaky at the beginning of that chase. But we will see them go again, and maybe Louis will make an even bigger mistake here. But we will find out. They switch spots. Criticos in that Mustang in the lead. M1 in the chase. These drivers are off. Little slip initiation here from Criticos as he straightens out into the wall, and that will be his fate for this one. He will more than likely be out unless we see something, but I highly doubt that there is anything there. So as we wait for this judge call, I'd like to get Lupo Chaos into the server, Momentum, Wong, Lupo Flex, SR May, or MAE86, Andrew Kate, Garrett Shaw, and Static Shitbox. And as we suspected, Louis will take this battle, going to our top 16. And this is what our top 16 is starting to shape up to. A lot of great drivers here.
Gonna be a lot of good battles in this top 16. A lot of good battles on the way, and 4 of them on the way right now. We have 8 drivers making their way into the server. Well, we'll get kicked off here with Lupo Chaos in the lead and Momentum in the chase before too long.
Alright, we got Momentum joining up now. Lupo at the line.
Lupo at the line, was at the line.
Lupo Chaos going to be in that S13.
A creamy S13.
Versus a GT86.
And we are off. Nice initiation on the door. Momentum is as they go into the first part of the track. Lupo taking it away. But Momentum really locking into that pocket, getting comfortable in that zone. In that chase position, Lupo Chaos. A little bit of left foot brake moving around that sweeper into the final sweeper. Oh, Momentum, maybe a mistake there, diving in a little bit aggressively, but it's always a gamble putting down an aggressive chase like that.
Do have a major left foot brake going into that zone, so maybe a bit too much, but we'll have to see. The judges do have the last go, but we'll see them switch up positions and go again. Momentum. Little flick initiation, hitting that outer section, not too shabby, as they come into this outer wall section, hitting the wall, straightening out, almost straightening out, going off the line. I think that could seal his fate here as they come into this 3 outer zone wall section. Lupo Chaos leaving a car length, not getting too deep in there, because I would assume for that reason right there, as he hits the wall coming out of this last outer section.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a pretty easy call for the judges. I feel like we're going to swing in Lupo's direction.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain, but once again, we'll have to see. Anything? No, I think we're just going to see just a Lupo or
the
Momentum?
Aggressive chase.
Momentum just going a little bit too deep.
The aggressive chase coming out of Momentum in round 1 or in run 1 was beneficial. It paid off. And all three judges going Lupo Chaos, or Lupo Flex, excuse me.
It.
Wait, no, it's Lupo Chaos. Lupo Chaos was that one. Lupo Flex is in this battle. We have Wong in the lead against Lupo Flex. Lupo Flex in that chase position. We got Lupo Flex in the chase in this purple S13. But not Momentum. Wong in the lead position in the GT86. So here we go. Little flick to initiation, handbrake pull. That's what you need. Oh, pulling away. Wong is a little bit, diving in that S13 of Lupo Flex. Lupo Flex losing quite a bit of proximity after that inner clip. Wong pretty smooth through these zones. Lupo Flex in the wall.
Lupo
straightening
Flex
out.
Zeroing out.
That'll be a 0 from Lupo Flex. Wong just got to finish this run. He's got points on the board. And a big advantage going into the second half of the battle.
Major advantage going into the second half of that battle. I think Wong... Wong just doing what he had to do, and Lupo hitting the wall. So we'll see what happens as we start the second battle. Both drivers switching it up here. Lupo Flex in the lead, Wong in the chase in that GT86. Both drivers doing a great job through this first half. Lupo adding major angle in to get that inner clip. Lacking proximity on this wall section though. Not doing a bad job through this 3 outer zone section. Wong though is still right there on him, trying to put that pressure on. Doesn't need to though, can play this conservative.
I drove with Wong through practice when the drivers were all getting ready, and he'd locked in. I mean, let me tell you, super consistent. Really fun to watch. So
he seems like a very consistent driver, so I'm excited to see if he'll go on. And he will go on to the top 16.
Wong moving on.
And face the other Lupo. Will he be the annihilator of Lupos tonight? I guess you guys will have to see in the next round.
Up next, we have Manny from Shadowrealm against Andrew Kate.
Manny in that S13. Both drivers on the line and ready to go.
And we are off. Manny in that lead position. Andrew Kate in the chase. Andrew Kate locked in on the door of Manny. Manny diving in, grabbing the zones as we move through here. Andrew Kate maybe dropping a tire in that inner clip as he's diving into the door of Manny. Pretty good proximity and mirroring as we go through here. But you can't have that good of a chase without that good of a lead. Andrew Kate a little bit on the inside, but manages to stay in the pocket towards the back half of the final outer zone. Andrew Kate really going to need to lay down a pretty good lead here and hope for a mistake from Manny, but both of these guys really know what they're doing. There's no mistake in that.
Yeah, I definitely think Kate had to make a big adjustment to catch up there in the chase. So we're going to see these drivers slip it around. May in the chase in that S13. Andrew Kate going way wide there in that first left as they come into this outer zone. Cleaning it up, hitting that outer zone and inner clip, but tapping the wall. May doing his best to adjust. Following not far behind as Kate makes a good show of these 3 outer zones. Onto the wall section though, May kind of getting into that pocket, playing it conservative, but I think we will see probably a balance in one way. I don't think this is going to be a hard one to call, and we will see right now.
We got to call pretty quick on that one, yeah. All 3 sliding to Manny on that one. I think with 2 tire drops given, over the course of the back-to-back runs, 2 tire drops at least, and little bit of a washout, missing that first inner clip from Andrew. You know, hard to come back from. But hey, we got 2 more rounds left in this series before we move to part 3. So up next, to close out the top 32 before we take a short break and move to our top 16, Garrett Shaw against Static Shitbox. Garrett Shaw in that lead position. Static Shitbox in the chase.
Ooh, between these 2 drivers, we'll be going against SR's only Manny.
Here we go, Nissan on Nissan. The tale as old as time. Garrett Shaw diving in through those zones. Definitely a tire drop in the chase in that first inner clip. Clean through the second inner clip from Static Shitbox. Garrett Shaw grabbing all of these zones. Getting nice, good proximity before we head to the last right-handed sweeper. Static Shitbox diving on the door of Rizo. But
good run overall.
I don't know. That was a fantastic lead there.
Definitely that one spot Static did 1 wheel off, so that's going to be a major contention as these drivers go on to this second half of the battle. Static taking the lead on this one. Those drivers taking off as those lights drop to green. Static Shitbox, little handbrake initiation, maybe a little clutch kick initiation. Garrett Shaw, though, on the door as they come into this outer section. Static hitting that inner clip perfectly as they come into this wall section. Static not leaving much up for grabs, though. But Garrett Shaw not giving him any room as they come through this triple wall section into this sweeping wall section. Garrett Shaw in the door of Static Shitbox.
Wow.
That was an unbelievable chase run.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Rizo is locked in there.
That was nice. As we go back, watching these runs side to side, you can just see Garrett Shaw just in the door of Static's car, just not giving him any room, just so lightly tapping it not to upset Static's car. That is a show of talent right there.
That was just wild. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you up a chase from that. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. Garrett Shaw taking the win. And that'll close out our top 32. Move us on to our top 16. Those first 8 drivers of the top 16, I'll go ahead and call y'all up right now. You're on the left side of the screen. It's going to be Omar Bdatley from Carbon Drift Team, Shadowrealm Zone Murda, Lux, TDR Keefe, Shadowrealm Zone 6 Shadows in Nibbish, Diaz W86, and Landon Daert. If y'all want to make your way into the server and get a little practice in while we take a short break, we will let you all know whenever we're ready to go, and we'll be back very, very soon.
I can't breathe until you let me. I took a bullet to my chest and I buried all the empty pieces that I left behind. A voice inside my head, I'm getting lost inside my faith. If the world wants us dead, I'd rather die in your embrace. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below. I can't believe in something that remains under the ground. I can't believe in a ghost. I can't believe in a ghost. It's the planet destruction. Tear me apart, rebuild my eyes. My heart can't function. There's no walls, no place to hide. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below.
Welcome back. We are
We're
ready
back.
to go. We're ready to hop back in this thing, crack off our top 16 with Omar Bdatley against Murda. Drivers are at the line, but we're getting ready. And just a couple of seconds here, we're going to kick this top 16 right off, get you all kicked off on your Memorial Day weekend. In the U.S., at least.
Memorial Day. What's that?
It's, you respect memories today, man.
We still
No,
celebrate the queen that isn't our queen.
I'll explain it to you later, Betty. But we're off. Omar in the lead. Murda on the door of Omar upon initiation. Flying through these zones, Omar is, but Murda right in that pocket. Omar probably could get a little bit better wall proximity in the first half of that right-handed sweeper, but manages to maintain a very clean line throughout this track. Murda mimicking almost every angle, having to dive in the back half of that track. But this could be anyone's game right now. We're still halfway through the battle. We don't know what's about to happen. Omar, extremely good. Lots of seat time. Murda, extremely good. Lots of seat time.
Yeah, seeing a lot of guys lose proximity there in that transition for the last wall section. So great chase from Murda. Omar could have been a little bit tighter on the walls, but we're going to see what happens as these drivers initiate into this outer wall section. Ooh, Murda hitting the wall, but Omar doing a great job not fumbling up there. Murda on the wall section here. Omar might have tapped the bumper there. As they come into this last wall section, Omar doing a great job of staying in the pocket here. Could be our first OMT. Very good candidate. I think both drivers made equal amount of mistakes. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of a cleanup for the leads. Or not the leads, the chases. But that's just
Yeah, the
my
side
opinion.
by side here. Really, that wall tap from Murda could be bad, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're in OMT territory given the transition hit from Omar. I'll have to see it again to confirm, and I'm rubbing my eyes right now, so I don't know if it's on screen. Okay, it wasn't, but we'll look at it here and see if it goes back through before we get a call. Yeah. Wall tap from Murda here, and then as we go through the sweeper, great proximity from Omar, but right here,
Makes that tap
there was a tap there. I don't
If
know if it
Murda
upset the
wanted to
lead,
flop,
but yeah, he could have. He didn't have to. He didn't, but he could have.
He's a man. He ain't flopping.
Woo!
I think the judges are going to be pulling some stuff up here because I'm seeing a lot of putting notepads in front of mouths and talking to each other, so. Gonna be interesting here. Oh, looks like Gavin and Blue are fighting actually in the judges booth live right now. Actually,
yeah,
okay,
actually,
no,
they're
they're
punching
dusting.
one
Okay,
another.
they're dusting off their shoulders. All right, just a little scuffle, nothing major.
Oh goodness!
Okay, now they're giving each other the silent treatment, not giving any
Silent
names.
treatment. Love that. Love to see it.
They have their arms crossed. They have like little pouty faces, and they're looking away from each other. So it's never a good sign.
Oh man.
So it begins.
So it begins. What are we getting into tonight, everybody? What's the plan after the comp? I don't know what I'm getting into yet. There's a couple games out that are really cheap that are like little party games that I think I might try to convince everyone to buy.
Party
Or
games
force
like
people
what?
into playing. That one, I forget the name of it, like Headliner or whatever the hell Boost was talking
Headliner.
about earlier. That looks fun. Oh shit, Rizo's right. Speedrunners. Oh shit. Yeah, no, I got plans, boys.
Speedrunners.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is speedrunners?
If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. Looks like we got a call. Which way are we sliding? Two going murder, one going OMT.
Oh, and we have a non-unanimous decision here, and
Split
Murray will be
decision.
taking it. Split. Was it on?
Split decision.
Ah.
Up next, we have Lux and TDR Keefe.
Oh.
Keefe in that big body JZX 100. And we got Lux, who should be in the lead position. Don't send him off yet. Let me double check that I'm... need to be chasing. Lux, you need to be leading. So we need to swap positions here.
Alright. Now. How about now?
All right. I think we're ready to go. We got Lux in that lead position, E36. Keefe in that JZX. Keefe needs to dive in here, kicking the angle out where he should have been shallowing up. Lux, pretty commanding lead over TDR Keefe here. TDR Keefe leaving a lot of proximity on the table in the first half of the track. Shores up the proximity a little bit in the second half. Good transition, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. We still got another half of the battle going, and Lux could make a mistake in his chase, but...
Keefe lacking proximity throughout almost more than half of that whole run. So, I think Lux just needs to do a great job here, and he's got this in the bag. Just car length the whole way. Nothing crazy. Both these drivers are off. Keefe lacking proximity in that first outer zone, but kind of bunting the cone in that inner clip. As we come into this outer wall, Keefe being very conservative. Lux doing a great job just staying where he needs to be. I think he knows he doesn't have to go too hard to get the dub here. But Keefe on the wall, big angle on the wall, making a correction halfway throughout that section. And Lux will be right there behind him.
I think this will be going to Lux.
Yeah, I think Lux will be taking that. And I think we're right. You're right. I'll give you that.
All right, we're getting get another camera in real quick just to be safe. Quick swap, but we'll be good. As soon as we get the all clear, we'll send these boys off. But these boys right here are Shadowrealm Zone Nibbish and Six Shadows. Nibbish in the blue and green. Six Shadows in the black and gray. Great runs, great proximity thus far. Six Shadows ripping through this line in that lead position. Nibbish, though, on his door here. Not letting him get too comfortable. Maybe leaving a little bit of proximity on the table, but this is the kind of runs you want to see. This is fantastic. That's good shit, gentlemen.
That's
good stuff, boys.
Right there. Nice. Gavin, feeling a 99 cigar right now. Who with me? Good old PT. You guys have prime times in the States?
I don't know. What?
All right.
Here we go. Nibbish in the lead.
Nibbish taking the lead here. Six Shadows not far behind. They transition. Oh, Six Shadows making a mistake in the chase. Nibbish on the wall. They come into this next section. Six Shadows trying to pour on that pressure after that mistake. But Nibbish not. Ooh, might have even tapped him there. And over the line. I think we will have a call.
Woo! Man, like those mistakes are going to haunt Six Shadows here. But there may have been something we didn't see.
It's possible.
You never do know. It's kind of at the point where you got to let the runs speak for themselves here. What do you guys think in the chat? Yeah, I think that wall tap is going to really come back to haunt Six Shadows there.
Yeah, I think that wall tap's going to be a big one there.
It'll be a big issue. But ultimately, judges love to pull the replays if they suspect something. So. I'm about to pass out. All right, looks like we have a call.
Oh, you
We'll
say.
see which way it goes. Whoa, we have a split.
Ooh, what happened?
Oh, wow. Okay. OMT it will be. We're going to see these guys go one more time. First OMT of the night.
Oh. I guess it was bound to happen eventually.
There was evidently something we didn't see there.
Yeah, I'm going to assume such.
We're going to go ahead and kick them off. Woo! Nice initiation. Nibbish on the door. Six Shadows. A little bit of a correction there in the chase as they start to transition. Six Shadows on the throttle. Full commitment. Leading this run. Nibbish going to have to dive in to get that proximity, and he does at just the right time to finish out the second half of the track. On the door, Six Shadows, maybe leaving a little bit of tire mark, a little bit of rubber on the door. At the very end, yeah, love to see it. Okay, very good, gentlemen.
Nice driving from both of these guys. Six Shadows with a great chase, or great lead, and Nibbish with a great chase. Let's see if Six Shadows can clean up his chase here in this OMT battle. As these drivers will go again. Nissan 350 versus Nissan 350. And Nibbish doing a great job. Ooh, on the wall, but Six Shadows bumping the door. Six Shadows doing a great job mimicking the line here. Nibbish doing a great job putting down a lead. Six Shadows lacking a little bit of proximity going into that last outer zone, but both drivers will make it over the line cleanly.
What a chase. Okay, we got a Rhizo level chase here. Are we going to see a Rhizo Six Shadows final? That would be cool. We might be here till tomorrow, but that would be cool. Good thing we have an OMT rule, which is no more than 2. This is making me nervous. They're so close to each other all the time. The slightest mistakes could cause everything to go wrong. All going to Six Shadows.
Six Shadows will be taking that run.
Holy. All right, that was wild. All right, up next, Diaz W86 against Landon Dysart. We have a Mustang on Mustang battle here. Diaz in that green one, Landon in the Shadowrealm team skin. I think we're ready to go here. Diaz kicking us off here in the lead position. Handbrake initiation. Landon flicking on the door of Diaz as they come through here. Diaz staying on, maybe lacking a little bit of throttle there to stay in the zone, that inner clip, but manages to make it work. Landon covers it really good. Diaz over angling.
Oh no.
Leaving Landon nowhere to go, but manages to not make contact with Diaz. That will be a monumental deduction for Diaz there with that over angle in the lead.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. You really need to, in these last rounds, when you're in the top 16, you really have to put it all on the table and be perfect, because one mistake can decide these battles. As we will see these guys turn it around. Diaz in the lead, Landon in the chase this time.
Nope, the other way around.
Oh, I am incorrect. Landon in the lead, Diaz in the chase. Diaz making contact with Landon, putting Landon way offline. Landon gets right back into it on the wall. They transition to this outer wall section. Landon doing a great job filling out all of the zones. This Diaz is right there, but Diaz making that major mistake, maybe an OMT?
Not going to be enough to come back from. I think that's Landon all the way.
You think that's Landon all the way?
Oh, yeah. I think that'll be a quick call. And it looks like the judges' chat has already got something said in it. So, we shall see what the call is, but I think it's going to be Landon here. Yeah, a lot of commitment coming out of Landon.
Yes, the Diaz overrolling there would be the.
Yeah,
I got confused with who was where.
Yeah. Judge 1, Landon. 2 and 3 are going to go to Landon. So we'll see it sliding that way. We're going to get the second half of our top 16 in here, which is going to be Drifting Magic's Max Jagger, Kinetic Chillmate, Bad Future Serene, Louise Zenada, Lupo Chaos, Wong, Shadowrealm Zone, MAE86, and Garrett Shaw for Mayo M. Max and Chillmate, as soon as you're ready, get to the line and we'll kick this off. And we're ready to go. We're going to kick this off. Max in the lead, Chillmate in the chase. Good clean initiation. A lot of left foot brake in that outer zone. Making contact in the chase. But we're going to continue on through this run. Fault will be deemed for that contact, but we're going to keep it running for now. We got Max Jagger finishing out this run. Chillmate keeping good proximity.
I think we'll have to watch that one back to see exactly what went down, but
yeah, I'm not quite exactly sure what happened. I mean, of course, with the drone, we don't always have the best angle, but hard to tell.
All right, but they will switch positions. Chillmate in the lead this time. Max Jagger in the chase. Chillmate lacks the proximity in that first outer zone. Max Jagger, though, on the door. As they come into this outer zone again. Max Jagger not leaving much on the table. Gonna watch beautiful outer 3 zones here. As both these drivers transition into these outer zones. And over the line, clean, but what are we going to see from that first battle? Who will be at fault? Will we see the easy call here?
Hard to tell.
Oh, good.
I think... Man.
The judges going back saying they wanted to check for D-cells. Chillmate was just too far inside. They both carried the same amount of speed during the initiation. But they also don't have any stream audio. Repeat, never mind, we got it. We Gucci.
Yeah, I was going to say, stream audio should be good.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe we're about ready
Yes,
to kick this
see
off as soon as we
Bad
get
Future Serene
flip
versus
back over here.
Louis. We are experiencing some technical difficulties.
We're good?
Okay.
All right. We are ready to go. We got Bad Future Serene in the E36 leading Louise Zenada in the 1M. Little beamer battle. We got an E36 hot with the tires, taking off with big angle. Flying through this course is Serene, and Louise tight on the door. But Louise is going to flick over here into this left-hand turn. Grab those zones as he should, but man, Louise is not going to let him get anywhere because he's right on the door. Maybe could be a little bit deeper in the pocket, but that proximity is all there all day long.
Yeah, I definitely think Louis was just on the door that whole run. Maybe not quite in the pocket like you were saying, but definitely going to be an interesting second battle here to see what Bad Future can do in that chase and how Louis will put down a lead run. As his drivers take off, Louis... Ooh, we're seeing contact there now. Are we going to see Louis make a decel after the decel zone? And Bad Future will go off as well. Not a good start to this battle. Looks like we're going to have to revert to our first round.
Yeah, I believe this one's going to be judged off of that first run.
But
That is
speaking,
what I believe. I don't know. Yeah, we have a big contact. Well, the run's done after the contact.
If it's the chase's fault...
Run's done after the contact.
Yeah. If it's the chase's fault, then we will see... we'll see Louis take the win. But if Louis decelled, then we will see Serene take the win?
Hard to tell.
Because both
that first run, though, man,
to zero
banger of a run.
Chase for chase. So
Serene was really hitting all the marks. Yeah, Serene hitting all the marks, but Louise putting down a hell of a chase. I think it's going to come down to the contact in run 2. It's not going to come down to run 1. It's going to come down to who's at fault for the contact in run 2.
Yeah.
And it almost, I don't know. Ooh.
It looks like he's on full throttle right here, so... Ooh, but the
Looks like
brake
he's
lights are
on throttle
on
by
though.
the end of the zone.
Brake lights
He is on brake.
on. But is it enough, though, is the question.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going one way or the other.
Because I think Serene, if he doesn't hit Louis there, I think he's going to be way wide of that inner clip.
Yeah. So as the track pops up on screen, as we
We get
explained
to
to
see
drivers in the drivers meeting from the judges, the decel zone leads up to the zone itself, and then they want drivers to be on throttle, maintaining momentum from the start of outside zone 1 into inner clip 1. So it could come down to that, which I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't know, I'm kind of feeling that this one may move more towards Serene just by looking at the momentum map and based off of the drivers meeting. But judges are definitely pulling replays. That's the only reason why this is taking so long. So anything could happen at this point. Yeah, as we watch it here, it looks like, I don't know. It almost looks like the E36 may not have even made interclip 1 with as much momentum as he was carrying. But, well, I don't, it's hard to tell. You know, it's such a short clip. And we
Yeah.
only have the one angle, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the angle that we have. It's hard to say if there's a major decel. It's hard to say with the camera moving and all. Like, what exact speed the cars are going, right? So,
Looks like judges are working on a call here as they're typing. We'll see which way this one leans.
it looks like a very long message. All
right. You want to take it away? Go for it.
Bad Future and other drivers carried at least 7 miles per hour faster through that zone. Louis got back on throttle half or 3/4 of the way through OZ1, but was also still on the handbrake before he was on throttle, so was late on throttle either way. 2 times vote for fault being on Louis, 1 for a shared fault. Serene 2 votes and 1 OMP vote. He was the
And
only
Louise
one
was the only one who was not in the driver's meeting. So
kinda on him.
yeah, and that was explained there. And yep, and as we say, judges pull up telemetry. So, and like Pushy said, I'll recite it. Bad Future and other drivers had almost 10 mile an hour faster through that zone. Louise was back on throttle about half or 3/4 of the way through outside zone 1, but was on handbrake at the same time before he was on throttle. So he was late on throttle at the end of the day. So we're going to move on. Max Jagger's going to move on to our top 8. And we're going to have, Serene's going to move on to our top 8. And we're going to have Lupo, Chaos, and Wong up next to battle right here, right now. All right. Looks like we are ready to go. We got Lupo Chaos in the lead. Wong in the chase. Good coverage of outside zone 1 in the lead. Wong diving in on the door of Lupo as they go into this first center clip. Lupo grabbing all of that outer zone. A little bit of left foot brake to check up the angle as they move on along through here. Wong, though, maintaining that proximity and mimicking that line all the way through the course. It's exactly what the judges want to see. Maybe a little bit of hesitation there at the end. But we'll have to see what kind of chase Lupo Chaos puts down.
Wong definitely not lacking proximity in the first half, or not the first half, but that first corner, and then just sticking to the door after that. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens in the second half of the battle. So Wong will take the reins and lead Lupo. Both these drivers take off. Wong with a nice entry. Could have filled the zone a little bit better, but we'll take it. Hitting that inner clip, but ooh, Lupo Chaos diving in and hitting that front right of Wong's GT86. So Wong gets on that door. Lupo so ever cautious to not make another major mistake. Wong just puts down a clean run, and Lupo will finish that off right behind him. I'm gonna say that Wong has
We're gonna come down to round 2.
Yeah, I think Wong will take, in my opinion.
Oh, gonna come down to round 2. I think, yeah, I think it's going on Wong. I don't know if he was. I don't know if that was a. Yeah. I don't know. We already have a call, so.
This is
judges were pretty convinced on what happened here. All 3 judges going Wong.
And Wong will take it.
And on to our last battle of the top 16. Gonna be a big one. MAE86 and Garrett Shaw.
We have a Garrett Shaw. Waiting for May. May pulls up to the line.
And big clean initiation from both drivers here. Manny kicking it off. Rizzo really close behind him here as they go into inner clip 1. Nice proximity. Great angle out of the lead. Great zone coverage. Throwing the wing into the wall is Manny in that lead position in the 240. But Rizzo right locked in that chase position right behind him where he should be.
Yeah, Garrett Shaw doing a great job there. So we're going to see them go again. Switch positions here. As these drivers take off. Garrett Shaw in the lead. Nice little flick initiation from Shaw there. May, though, on the door as they go into this second wall section. May not giving him much room. As Garrett Shaw gets onto the wall. Could be a little bit deeper in that section. May making a little bit of a mistake, but fixing that and catching right back up. They come through that 3-wall outer zone section into this wall section. May doing a beautiful job transitioning back there. Garrett Shaw doing a great job on that wall. And this one will be up to the judges. And we will have a call from the judges. As we watch back here, these runs. You know, Manny just having a lot better proximity. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Maybe the judges will pick something up that we did not. But we will see them slide it left for Garrett and slide them right for Manny. And they will go all left for Garrett Shaw.
And we have our top 8 put together. Oh man, what a battle we got shaping up in our top 8.
Ooh,
Murda and Lux, 6 Shadows against Landon, Max Jagger against Serene, and Wong against Garrett Shaw.
Get your bums in here, boys, and remember that we are not going to be having third place battle. It will be whoever was highest in points. Take that third spot. Or highest in qualifying, I should say. But then again, how are we going to do that? Because are we going to have a third place battle then?
Nope, it's based off seeding.
Seeding? Okay.
All based off of seeding.
Yeah, baby. So we get these boys up to the line. We're in that lead at 350. Lux in the chase. Just waiting on a Lux here. Oh, and Lux will be coming up to the line.
On his way. Here he goes.
In that E36.
All right, Murda in that 350 Lux E36. Murda, big initiation all the way on throttle. I'm in the thing. I don't know. I guess it was good through there. My bad. We continue all the way through to Interclip 2. Murda in the zone, all the way in the zone, but Lux in the pocket. Could be a little closer, but he's there. Really needs to show up that proximity now. Murda running a great line. Good commitment. A little bit of lag there, but it looks like everyone's fine. Okay, and we are good going into the second half of this battle.
Yes, Lux and Murda doing a great job. Grizz crashing the drone. So we will see these guys go off. Lux in the lead, Murda in the chase this time. Murda with a great lead run last. So we're gonna see here Lux a little late on initiation, but gets all of that zone, but hits the wall and will think that will seal his fate in the Great 8.
I believe you are correct, sir.
Oh, look at those status seats, that PRP equipment. And yeah, very quick slide them left to Murda. Congratulations, Lux. Better luck next time.
Better luck next round. Up next, 6 Shadows and Landon Daert. Two very different V8s here. One UZ and a Ford V8. So, a little bit of a lag there. Like no upset though. Okay. We're going to continue on through this run. Jumping in, diving in, flowing through. Six Shadows grabbing the walls. Landon and Daert diving into the pocket of Six Shadows as they move through the back half of the course. Great proximity, great driving from both drivers.
Great stuff from both drivers. Landon kind of just staying there, staying in that perfect spot. Not quite in the pocket, but good proximity. Six Shadows making a couple mistakes, but nothing to really get upset about. And so basically we have both drivers line up, ready to go. As we start off this second round, we will have Six Shadows in the chase this time with Landon in the lead in that Mustang. Landon correcting himself a little bit going into that initiation. As they come into this outer zone, Six Shadows on the door. Landon, though, getting all of this wall section. A little bit of left foot brake to get that car sideways as we get into these three outer zones. Six Shadows, though, on the door. Landon doing a great job as well. Door-to-door action as we cross the line. I don't know. I think we're gonna see maybe a battle decided.
Another one? Or a battle decided? What do you think?
Maybe decided by the chase or the lead runs. I think might have did it better twice.
I don't know. This is going to be a hard one for the judges, I think. Oh man, I'm getting all tight in my shoulders and neck. Ugh. I need a good massage. You want to fly down here and help me out? What do you think? All right, thanks.
I could suggest you some places, but you don't want my man hands. They're a little rough.
Okay. I mean, whatever you think.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like, if you really want me to, I can, but...
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Ping says you got soft hands.
What you got soft hands, Ping? I won't say it when on stream.
All right. Yeah, we're going to move on over to a quick little promo for our fine partners over at PRP.
I was meant to be new. I was meant to be beautiful. The world would have looked to the sky and seen hope.
In here. I don't know which way this one's gonna go. This could be an OMT.
Not sure either.
You know,
still waiting for a call.
I don't know how our top four is gonna land. This is gonna be a good one.
Yes, this will be a good one. It doesn't matter who we get, I think, in this next one. If we get Sick versus Murda or Landon versus Murda, but it'll be an interesting battle nonetheless.
We got judges typing. I think we're going to get a little bit of an explanation here, but I'm not sure. Nope. All right, we're good. All right. Oh, okay, never mind. No explanation. We just have a call. 2 OMTs, 1 for 6 shadows. We're going to see it one more time. We're going to get these boys back to the line with the 6 shadows in the lead and a Landon Daert in the chase. Three, two, one, and here we go. Good initiation. Landon diving onto the door of 6 shadows as we get into the first inner clip. 6 shadows maintaining that momentum through the inner clip. Landon back on the door of 6 shadows by the second inner clip and through the first sweeper into the second. 6 shadows on the throttle. Landon Daert on the door, maintaining a safe proximity, but really not putting any tires on the door. And honestly, in a battle like this, with as far down as we've come today, I think you have to do that at this point.
Yeah, you got to be running the door. I think Landon was just lacking a little bit of the proximity side. So doing a good job mimicking those, keeping the same line. I think it'll
really
just come
ultimately
down.
though, the whole run, the whole battle is in 6 shadows' hands right here in the chase. So if Landon lays down a nice, consistent lead run and hopes for a mistake from 6 shadows, I don't know.
We'll find her right here as 6 shadows is on the door of Landon in that first zone. Landon, though, doing a good job hunting that inner clip with the bumper. Could be a little bit better on this wall. 6 shadows, though, just on the door, ready to go. Not giving him much space to make a mistake. Bumper to bumper transition as we come into this last section. 6 shadows doing a great job of mimicking Landon and holding that proximity. I think he did a much better job than Landon did in his chase. And I think, well, both drivers had a great lead run, but I think 6 shadows just a little bit tighter to the wall than
I don't
Landon
know.
was.
It's pretty close. This is another close battle here.
But then we see Sick make that bobble there in that 3-zone outer zone. So, I mean,
There was a little bit of a bobble there. You know, does it measure up against a couple of proximity gaps?
I'm
not sure.
It depends on what the judges are weighing their decisions on. If they're more decided on, you know, holding the proximity versus maybe making a little bit of a bobble in the chase, making a correction to kind of keep the proximity. So will they like deduct smaller because it's to gain the proximity? It's really dependent on what the judges want. Now, we did have a drivers meeting, so the drivers do know what they need to do.
That's true, but one thing too is, you know, the pocket. You got to be in that pocket in the chase position. And so I don't know. We could see the first, not only the first OMT, but the first double OMT of the
We
night.
could see a double OMD.
I'm not sure.
And it looks like we may be getting a judge call.
No idea where it's going to go at this point.
I just see some stick hitting the wall in chase. I'm not sure exactly where they're talking about. Oh,
think it's
maybe
right
they
here in
thought
run
that
2.
was a wall tap.
It kind of, with the angle, I'm not quite sure. It kind of looks like more of a correction.
I think it was more of a correction.
I think it looked like more of a correction than a wall tap. But I don't really know. It's with the drone cam and doing commentary at the same time, it's kind of hard to get the perfect.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
the good thing is the judges have the replays and the telemetry. I mean, we went through a battle earlier where we explained the whole telemetry thing. So it comes down to a lot of things that we don't see on the stream, but the judges are analyzing the data for.
Yeah, the judges hard at thought, deep in thought on this one. Taz saying my bad boys, no wall tap, all good, all good.
No worries. Hey, it's just we're just talking about what we see. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
It's all good. And us talking on the mic, we're not judges. We don't take anything we say as anything official unless it's on the screen. And even if it's on the screen and it's not right, we'll correct it. It's how we work. We're just working.
It's just
we're
banter.
trying to make it work. Yeah,
just friendly banter up here.
We're just trying to make it work, guys. Trying to have a good time for everybody.
Thought I muted my mic on that one. That was a good one though.
That was a good one, feller. Yeah, there you go.
That's the Doritos.
Doritos, yeah.
That good stuff.
The good. All right, we got a call.
What will our call be? First OMT. Second OMT. Third OMT. We are going to see our first double OMT of the night as these drivers line it back up and go head to head for one last time.
Sheesh. This is wild. All right. So we got Sick deeper in outer 1 and outer 3 in the lead. Landon shallower in outer 1 in the lead. Tire drop and inner clip 2 in the chase. Tire drop from Landon in the chase equals lack of procs in the last outer zone from Sick in the chase. It's going to be an OMT. Judges have to make a call at this point. So these boys are going to have to really, really lay it down, make no mistakes, and lock it in right here, right now. And I suspect nothing less from either of these two.
And we will see both these drivers do it again.
And here we go. We're off to the races. Six Shadows all the way on throttle through the decel. Don't need it. Landon diving into the door. He has to be the whole time. He's putting tire marks there. Staying in the pocket. Getting a little bit frisky as they go through this left-hand sweeper. Both of these drivers locked in as they can be. Landed in that pocket. Ryan, Six Shadows on the wall all the way through. A little bit of tap to let him know he's there at the end. Nice clean run out of both of these guys here.
Yeah, that was a crazy run coming out of Six Shadows there. I don't think there was much of the wall left in most of those sections. So Landon has some big shoes to fill here as he takes the lead in this second half of the battle. Landon mangying into the zone, hitting all of that outer zone. Six Shadows, a bumper to bumper transition as they make it into this inner clip. Six Shadows on the door. Landon lacking proximity, but grabbing the wall at the end, angling up to get into this zone. Six Shadows, though, not giving him much room. As Landon comes into the last sweeping outer zone, Six Shadows lacking a little bit of angle, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Landon doing a great job, 14 years old, behind the wheel of that Mustang.
I don't know.
Was a crazy battle to watch, and the judges have a lot to look at here, but for sure, I think Sick did a better job in the chase.
I think. Oh man! So watching the runs back a little bit, there may have been a late. I don't know. I don't know.
The bobble there from Sick on his initiation in the chase.
Not a bobble. Well, what caused the bobble? I think, but I don't know. You know, it's so hard to tell from the angle that I had with the drone, and so I don't want to speak out of turn. It almost looks like there was like a extra e-brake right before or right in the zone.
And that
You
would
know,
be
to like
coming
check
out
up
of-
angle from the lead.
the lead?
The Mustang Landon. Yeah. But I don't, the angle I had wasn't the best. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
We'll get to see it again, possibly.
It'll be in run 2 at the bottom right of your screen here right now.
Yeah, there is a little bit of checkup of angle, but I think that was explained in the driver's meeting that you might angle up there to get into that inner clip. So
Yeah,
I don't think you'll
and
be
the reason why I didn't want to
penalized.
speak out of turn is I don't remember if that was an okay thing or not. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
Yeah, you wanna
My memory
have,
is failing me at this point. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you wanna be angle drifting there. So basically, like not going at lock, but almost at lock.
Yeah. Do not know.
So it'll all
We'll let the
depend
side
on
by
what we
side roll
see.
again.
We'll say Sick very aggressive in that chase. I don't know if that correction at the beginning of that chase run will be enough though, because Sick did a very great job, very good job in his lead run. Very smooth
I
through
don't know
that
how much
first
of a
section.
difference that'll really make. I mean, at the end of the day, the judges have to make a call at this time. It cannot be an OMT. So,
And he
I
does
wouldn't-
lack proximity on that wall right here, where Sick is cleaning that wall out very, very tight. So lead to
looks like
lead,
we're
it's
getting a
gonna
call
be.
rolling in here slowly.
Taz telling us to throw our rule book away and do another OMT.
Taz, as a driver, that's a bold move to say, yeah, hey, organizers, throw your rule book away. Bold fucking move. Looks like we had a call coming through. All three sliding to Sick. And we have an explanation. So you have Sick, all three, due to Landon's corrections in the chase in Outer Zone 3. Outer Zone 1 from Landon in his lead, and contact crossed the finish line from Landon in his chase. Okay. All right, we shall move along. We're going to have Max Jagger against Bad Future Serene. So we got Drifting Magics against Team Serene. Or Team Bad Future, excuse me.
Jagger, will Max Jagger take out Serene again? The next Bad Future, sorry.
A little bit of a contact going into inner clip number 2. Serene diving into the door of Max Jagger. Max Jagger keeping it really smooth as he leads this battle, but taps the wall in the outer zone, causing a little bit of a correction. Serene locked into that chase position, keeping it nice and smooth all the way to the finish line.
All right, and these drivers are off for a second half of the battle. Bad Future Serene in the lead this time. Max Jagger in the chase. This E36 versus E36 battle. Great job as Serene kind of pulls away. Max Jagger, though, diving in, grabbing that door. Serene could be a little bit tighter on the wall as we come to this three outer zone section. Max Jagger having to put the brakes on not to hit Serene as they come into this outer zone. Beautiful proximity, beautiful run from both drivers.
Good run out of both. Love to see it.
Max Jagger on his first run, kind of parking a little bit there in that second outer zone.
Good runs here. I think a little bit of more. I think Max kind of a little bit more consistency overall after watching the side by side, but I do not know. After the fatigue of a double OMT, it's hard to jump back in. Oh, we're polishing off this grade 8. We'll have Murda against 6 Shadows in the final 4. We got that part figured out. But we got to figure out whether Max Jagger, Serene, Wong, or Garrett Shaw is going to fill out the next half or the right side of the top 4.
We're going to watch these ones back to back again.
Almost looked like there was a little bit of a correction from Max there.
It looked
Watching
like
it a third time.
Yeah, he just over-angled there, and I think got saved.
That's kind of the way it looked, and then he hit the wall.
Yeah, so
that may be deductions on Max.
Not.
I'm kind of leaning more towards Serene now.
Yeah, I'm thinking Serene might take it due to that, but.
And it looks like we had a call. It's made its way in. One to Serene. One OMT. And another to Serene.
And Serene will take it. All right.
All right. right, here we go.
Wong and
Wong.
Garrett Shaw.
Wong is in the lead, so Wong should be leading. Wong is in the chase right now. Wong is leading. Garrett Shaw is in the chase. Need you to flip positions. And here we go. Well, GT86 Nissan action. Contact upon initiation. Knocking Wong off track.
Oh boy. Oh dear.
We're just going to watch the rest of this run, but that was in the decel area. And we are ready to go.
All right, as both these drivers swap positions, Wong getting hit out in this first half of the battle. So I think Garrett will be at fault. Depends on what the judges decide. But Wong just has to not incomplete here, and he has a good chance at making it to the final four. Wong keeping a conservative distance away from Garrett Shaw, not trying to put down much pressure, keeping a door length, tapping the door at the end though. Just putting the nail in the coffin.
Ooh, where will it go? Watch this side by side again. Oh, I missed it. Dang.
Yeah, he got put into the Shadow Realm right as the replay came up.
Right at the beginning. Ryza with a great lead and run too, though. Wong, pretty good chase. Pretty conservative, but, I mean, I feel like they knew or thought, at least, that they were safe.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that they thought that they were
Probably
safe.
A safe assumption.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see a judge call here. And the judges agree. Wong will be taking that. Now, as we have our final four. First battle.
Final four are locked in.
SR Murda versus SR Six Shadows. And Bad Future Serene versus Wong. Who will be in the final battle?
Stylex in the chat says, since Serena's top four, doesn't that mean he gets guaranteed third? Nope, not true. Six Shadows is seated higher if Murda beats Six Shadows and Wong beats Serene, then Six Shadows would take third. So it is all up for grabs at this time.
I think, I think either way, Six Shadows would take third, right?
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure I understood.
Yes, sir.
That's on me. These drivers are on the line and they're ready to go.
Ready to go here. We got Murda in the lead position. Six Shadows in the chase. Murda in that blue and green. Six Shadows in the gray and black. And here we go. Wow. Good clean initiation. Good momentum through that first area. Into the second inner clip. Got that door-to-door action like you love to see. Tire pushing through almost for a moment. The passenger door of Murda. Murda really running this outer zone, these outer zones the way that it's supposed to be done here. A little bit of a decel, not intentional, and he wasn't on the brake or anything, but a little bit of slowage of momentum before the final outer zone, but no upset from either driver. Very
Overall,
well
like,
handled.
very good run from both these drivers, so we'll see them go at it again. Let's say swap positions. Six Shadows will be leading the charge. Murda going to try to follow him. Six Shadows doing a great job getting all of that zone, but Murda just putting it all up on his door. Kind of losing proximity in that transition, but getting the drop on Sick coming through that outer zone. Murda and Sick doing a great job. Murda on the door, Six Shadows on the wall. Both of these drivers door to door as they cross the line. Great run. Will we see an OMT again? Or will the judges be instant on the call? Find out.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to lean Six Shadows, but not too sure.
And I think Sick was just cleaner in the lead, and his chase was a lot more tighter than Murda. And I believe the judges are going to agree with me. Six Shadows will be taking that run and will be going to the final battle here.
Going to the finals. So, as we sit now, Serene is either locked in to second or third place tonight. So, guaranteed a podium.
Guaranteed a third place spot.
And Serene is in our lead position here. Had a good, nice initiation, little power over angle into the next part of the track, and Wong is locked on the door here of Serene as they go through the sweeper to the right. Will we have a clean transition? We will. Wong a little bit inside in that area, but moving along, getting himself into the pocket as they finish out the final zone. Wong getting a little bit inside there.
Wong doing a great job in the first half. I think just that last section maybe a little bit choppy, but nothing to fret about. As we go into the second half of the battle, Wong will be in the lead position. Serene following him this time around.
Excuse me.
As Wong initiates in, strong initiation, but Serene not giving him any room to make a mistake. Wong gets on that wall. Serene still on that door. Wong trying to get away from him. Serene not quite closing the gap as Wong comes into this three outer zone section. Serene back on the door. Bumper to bumper transition. Wong tapping that wall as Serene is on the door there. And we will see what the judges have to think, but we get to see a side-to-side comparison here. Both drivers doing a great job. Serene may be a little bit cleaner in his lead run though, but lacking that proximity in that wall zone. So maybe the judges will pick hairs here. We could see an OMT battle. This is OMT territory.
Could be, but looks like we have a call, and it's not a split decision.
And
One to
I will
Serene.
take my first L of the night.
All going to Serene. Serene gonna go on to our final showdown against Six Shadows.
Six Shadows. versus Serene here in this final battle. This is going to be one to watch, folks.
My eyes are so itchy.
Both,
All right, 6 Shadows in that lead position. Serene in the chase.
both drivers are ready to go.
They're at the line, and the light goes down. We are off. Last battle of the night. Serene, almost more angle than 6 Shadows going into that first area. 6 Shadows cooking it up as they go through here. Serene diving into the pocket through this zone. Exactly where he needs to be. Flicking along and diving again. 6 Shadows into the wall.
Oh, no.
Looked like without contact from the lead driver.
Yeah, he might have overdid it.
I think he may have overcooked her a little bit.
We will have to see the
I
replay
think
after
that's
this
pure
next
fault
run.
on the lead, but Serene, pretty comfortable position at this point, I think.
Just calm as a cucumber. Look at him. Both drivers ready to go for the second half of this battle. Six Shadows putting all of his car on the door of Serene, putting all of the pressure on as they come into this outer walls section. 6 Shadows dooring Serene. Tire marks on the door, but lacking proximity in that transition. Serene not bothered. Maybe a little bit of bumper tappage there in that transition as both drivers make it over the line. Now it all comes down to who will be at fault. And
I'm pretty sure this one's going to Serene.
Like Riz says, I think this one will be going to Serene. As we look side to side, we will look back to see what went down.
Let's watch this top left corner here.
And yep, 6 Shadows just hits
That's
the
an
wall.
independent wall tap there.
And that will be fault on 6 Shadows.
And we've got 1, 2, and 3 going to Serene. Serene taking the win.
Congratulations.
All you. Bad future. Serene with the win for round 1. Taking the E36 to the podium. Very good, very impressive. Fantastic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out tonight. Thank you all for watching. Drivers will have points up very soon. And I'll do my best to get the servers ready to go for the next round. And we'll see y'all soon. Thank you all for coming out. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Bye.